Good evening. Live from New York, the CC Radio Network is proud to bring you tonight's show, The Rebellious Rev and the Doc, where we talk about religion like you've never heard before. There's no evangelists here, just talk about religion with a twist. So let's get started and have some fun. Welcome our hosts for tonight, The Rebellious Rev and the Doc.
There is no heaven, there is no hell, there is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our show. You heard that moment of silence? That was our silent prayer for peace. So
yes,
good evening.
We encourage everyone to do a little devotional of their own. They don't have to say a word, just like us.
Exactly. I want to welcome everybody to our show. My name is the Rebellious Rev, or the Rev as they call me.
And I'm the Doc, or as they call me,
Doc. Just the Doc.
The Doc.
The Doc.
The Doc, if you don't mind.
Okay, Doc. What's up, Doc?
Oh,
Anyway.
wise guy, huh?
Good evening, and before we go much further, I want to first give everybody our phone number so you can call in and listen to this, whatever this is. 646-595-3275.
And
You can
today's
also
topic?
join our chat room.
Today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, the power of prayer. Does it really work? Okay.
I hope to God it does.
Well, for your sake, I hope something works.
That was a prayer. People use that all the time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higionu lazman hazeh. That's the overall general prayer, asking God to watch over us. And with all the tensions in the world today, I really don't think I have to explain this to you. Does the power of prayer tend to work? You know, you've heard a lot about faith healers, the laying on of hands. How much of that is psychological and how much of that is spiritual? You know, don't forget, Rev. I hate to say Rev because it makes me think of Al Sharpton, and I don't have anything nice to say. But anyway.
Yes, sir. That's me.
No, not really. In any event, when it comes to modern medicine, and if somebody is gravely ill, how many times have you heard the doctor, who is a man of science, say to family and friends, well, you could always pray?
That means watch out. Whoever the patient is dying.
Well, it's their way of saying that it's not in his hands anymore. It's in somebody's hands, a greater power. Okay? When you think about it, sometimes that's all that people really have left, is the power of prayer.
Yeah, well, it's faith. And I believe that faith, real or not, if it's a real thing or not, just the idea of faith and somebody believing may improve somebody's health.
It certainly gives them something to grasp at. Now, don't forget, if you remember your Greek mythology, when Pandora's box was opened and all the evils of the world and all the diseases of the world came out, all the sicknesses, the last thing to come out of Pandora's box was hope. There's always hope. There's always faith. And, you know, when you give up on hope and faith, you're more or less saying that's it. You're throwing in the towel on life.
That's true. I mean, that's your last line of defense, basically.
And then, you know, there's always, you know, the sick people who know that they're gravely ill, that they're dying. They know when it's time to stop fighting, that they fought the good fight, and there's nothing wrong with giving in right now, because they just don't have the strength to continue anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, we all pray so much more than we really realize it. Just think of all the times people pray by saying things.
Yeah, I've heard you say "God damn it" more than once.
No, not God damn it. That's not a prayer. People say, "Oh my God, I can't, please don't let this happen." That's a prayer.
Right, and then they promise to do something that they're never going to do.
Yeah, they don't even go
Although
that far.
I must say, in defense of that, almost 66 years ago when I was born, I weighed something like 3 pounds 7 ounces. 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can imagine. Nowadays they have neonatal facilities and hospitals to take care of babies of that weight and much less. My mother prayed and made a deal with God and said, because she was an avid knitter, and she said that she will never knit on the Sabbath, Friday night and Saturday, if I pull through. When I think of all the sweaters she could have made in that time, after seeing what I turned out to be, you know, I think she figures she might have gotten the short end of the stick, you know.
Short end of the needle.
Or the needle, right. The knitting needle.
Yeah, that's small. But then you were sort of petite when you were small. And
I sort of made up for it later on, huh?
I think we all did.
America's overindulgence, but that's for a different show. But really, the Rev and I, the Rebellious Rev, although being very calm today, would like to know, how do you feel about the power of prayer? Was there a time in your life when you turned to the Almighty, or whatever you believe to be the Almighty, and said that, you know, you would promise anything if, you know, your wish was granted?
I've never promised to wish. I never prayed and say I'll do anything, because I know I can't do it. That I've never done. I don't think I would have done. But I want you to hear something else.
You see, we're on a mission from God.
You know the movie? The original.
Yeah, the original.
The Blues Brothers.
That's it.
You
One
see,
of my son Joshua.
we're on a mission from God.
From God.
Yes, we are. We're on a
That's
mission
right.
from God.
Well, we are on a mission from God today.
That's exactly what I just said.
I mean, this is our Friday night religious show.
And, you know, just because, you know, Mark he believes he's a reformed Jew now, since he took the test. That's what.
After much cajoling from the Rebellious Rev here.
He took his test, and it came out to what he thought he was.
And my friend down in Florida said that he thought I would have scored something like a combination of pagan, Zoroastrian, or whatever you want to call it.
A Pastafarian.
Pastafarian. Actually, I had my leftovers from the other night, and part of it was pasta. So, in a way, I was...
You're a Pastafarian.
That's right.
These are all, you know, Pastafarian. You know, thank the United States and thank that that the writers of the Constitution made it so we had freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and out of that we get Pastafarians, we get
and if you say anything negative, we're going to come after you.
We get Dudism. Judaism, excuse me, Judaism.
That's one thing that the Rev has been dying to try. I mean, he is a master of many religious faiths, esoteric minister. He can, let's put it this way, he can officiate at your birth and at your death and at your wedding. The three biggies.
I can do all three of them.
You can do all three.
And any
hopefully
religion.
not at once.
In any religion. Even though some people, the wedding is your death. But anyway, we won't go into that.
Speaking of wedding, my son and his intended, Brittany, went down to see the cantor today, who's going to marry them. You lost out on the bid. I'm sorry, Rev.
Why a cantor? What happened to the rabbi?
Well, either a rabbi or a cantor can do it. But you see, this is the cantor who officiated over Joshua's bar mitzvah.
Uh-huh.
So he is now in a different congregation, so they made the trip to see him. And what can I say? So...
Well, when I married my wife, we had a sort of an interfaith marriage, I guess. And the person actually married us was a cantor, but he didn't ask any questions about anything.
Well, you see, even a Reformed rabbi, very few Reformed rabbis will marry a couple, an interfaith couple. Cantors will, but most rabbis will not, because the Jewish religion is a dying religion, and through assimilation and intermarriages, they feel that the children are losing their identity as Jews, that even though they are part Jewish, most of the time they do not go on to marry Jewish women, and thus Jewish grandchildren do not come from that. And, they feel that we are a small enough number as it is right now.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, we have a caller.
We have a caller, but somebody's calling on the wrong phone.
I don't know. We may have a caller. Oops. They shouldn't have said that. That wasn't nice. Nasty caller, you.
Well, you put them in their place.
Absolutely. I gave them to my wife. She'll take care of them.
I'm sure she will. But again...
We're still waiting for a phone call, ladies and gentlemen. 646-595-3275.
And the chat room is open and waiting for somebody to come in.
What happened to everybody? Where is our...
I think we call it promises.
Yeah, I see.
People say they're going to tune in. They say they're going to listen. And it's generally just you and me and maybe one other caller.
Well, we definitely have. It's not like people don't listen. You make it sound like nobody listens to a show. Every week our count is going up as far as listeners.
Yes, I don't want to embarrass ourselves by telling our audience how many people we actually have.
Well, don't.
I won't.
That's a trade secret.
But you see, it could be that number plus 1, 2, 3, etc. If some of those people who are just plain listeners would phone in and become participants.
Well, they say for every my favorite line, for every 1,000 listeners, there might be one caller. We usually get about 1 to 2 callers a day.
Yeah, but we only have 999 followers. We need that one more follower to make 1,000.
Huh?
Isn't that what you just said?
No.
For every 1,000 listeners, you get one person to call in?
And we get between 1 and 2 per show.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say we have 1,998
I never said how many
listeners.
listeners we have at all. All I said was 1 to 2 people listen to the show and actually call in also.
And ladies and gentlemen, you could be one of those 2 people. Or 3 people.
I see at least 3 people promised me to call tonight. I had 3 callers who had interest in this topic and want to talk.
I mean, how can you not be interested in a topic like the power of prayer? Does prayer really work? How many times in your life have you turned to a higher power, to the Almighty? It's like they say there are no atheists in foxholes. That's what they used to say during the war. Somebody's always praying to a higher power or asking somebody to look over them, watch over them.
Well, I'm going to take a break from the show, and I'm going to do something that we never do, Mark. We're going to play Jewish prayers, sort of Jewish music anyway. Well, Mark, take over. Who was that? What was that music?
Well, that was the Israeli national anthem, Hatikva. For those of you who remember the music, at this time I would like to give a shout out to a couple of people. My friend Ed, who seems to be improving on a daily basis from leukemia. We hope that that continues. My friend down in Florida who became a grandfather, he and his wife, his son in in Seattle, and his wife had a little boy, Nicholas Samuel, okay, and of course my great-nephew who was born in Los Angeles about almost 2 months ago, Shlomo Chaim, or as I like to say, Stephen Charles, cutest little boy, very alert, okay. That's a hint for my sister to, now she owes me, and it's been a long time since she called up, so, it'd be nice if she called up to say thank you, maybe not on this show, but on a subsequent show.
Well, you have to remind her.
I sent her the blog,
She said she hasn't seen it for a while when I spoke to her.
Well, That's certainly not my fault, you know.
Anyway, not to show that there's any favoritism, we're going to do now something from the Christian faith.
Give me that old-time religion. I like that old...
That ain't it.
Come follow me to the Bethlehem stable. Come see the gift God has left in the hay. Come and look down on the babe in a manger. Come and meet Jesus, your Savior, today. Come and receive Him, your personal Savior. Come close and worship, to Jesus we bow. Come all you faithful, by faith are you saved. Come follow Jesus, He's calling you now. Come hear a story of God's great salvation. Come praise Messiah, God's promise of old. Come follow shepherds and kings and a new star. Come see a gift of more value than gold. Come and receive Him, your personal Savior. Come close and worship, to Jesus we bow. Come all you faithful, by faith are you saved. Come follow Jesus, He's calling you now. Come see the Savior who came to redeem you. Come and adore Him, the Lord's Son on earth. Come and repent and accept God's salvation. Come and be given God's grace and new birth. Come and receive Him, your personal Savior. Come close and worship, to Jesus we bow. Come all you faithful, by faith are you saved. Come follow Jesus, He's calling you now. Come follow Jesus, He's calling you now.
You realize, Rev,
Yes.
that the last time I saw Jesus, He had a sign on His back that said, "Don't follow me, I'm lost."
Really?
Yes, He did.
What was his name? Jesus Ortiz?
Well, it was Jesus something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we played a Jewish song. We played a Christian song. Unfortunately, I really don't know any Muslim or songs or anything from the Quran or from, I don't know if there's any kind of Buddhist music. So if anybody knows anything, and they can email it to us at info@CC Radio Network, and we'll be glad to play it on one of our religious shows. Unfortunately, these are the only songs that I could find. Well, I feel bad. I wish there's something else I could do, but I just don't know what. So that's my apology to all the other religions.
By playing that music, people come to realize how good we really are, that when we're playing the music, they miss our voices, But, again, the power of prayer. Do you think it works? The laying on of hands, you've seen it done Sunday morning on television. If you've ever traveled down the Bible Belt, okay, and you attended one of those tent revivals, okay, you've seen people supposedly healed on the spot. That I really don't believe in, but I think sometimes when there's a great turnabout in a person's condition and medicine has said that they can't do anything more, you have to attribute that to a higher power. Of course, again, my friend down in Florida who is an atheist will say, well, why do you have to do that? Maybe the person is just responding to
The medication.
medication that didn't work before.
Anything is possible, but I'm sure most atheists have even said a prayer to God.
Well, depending upon
It
when-
may have not been meant as a prayer to God.
it may not even be something that's conscious. It might be something that they just thought.
No, a lot of times
They don't have to
people-
say it.
No, but a lot of people say, "Oh God, please stop this," or whatever. That's a prayer. I don't care what you say.
I
It's a
say that
prayer.
every time you look at me with a cross face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
Cut
every
the,
time.
cut the crap.
I mean, how about every time I?
Oh yeah, baby.
How about?
Not that. Oh, cut it out. This is
Okay, you
this
say,
is
"Oh
a-
God, please stop him."
this is a religious show. Show a little decorum, will you please?
Well, I just showed how it could be used in the most ridiculous ways.
But
But
he'll
prayers,
never learn, ladies and gentlemen. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
You're right. Can't. But you know what I learned? What I taught my dogs? How to sound like. Very good.
Enough.
Enough. Listen.
Enough.
We
Ladies and gentlemen,
we go into and get into the silly mode. When
646.
nobody's calling us.
Well, 646.
That's what happens.
595-3275. Please, I'm begging you. We need somebody to call in so
So the
the
Rev
Rev and
will
I
stop
don't make
being so
fools of
rebellious.
ourselves. We want to be taken seriously, but it's very difficult.
I'm going to punish everybody for now. When you're going to listen, you're going to be listening to.
You going to give us one of your prayers for peace or something?
No,
A prayer for healing?
No, I'm going to tell them about Brother Michael.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No,
Brother Michael was another lifetime.
that's true.
You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when our esoteric minister first decided to enter a religious life, he was being mentored by this gentleman who shall be nameless.
Yes, that's true, Brother Michael.
Yeah. And needless to say, bad feelings occurred on both sides. There was a breakaway from the church, Brother Michael's church, what do you call it?
Universal Life Church World Headquarters.
Yeah, from
The
Del
only
Rio,
university-
Texas.
They claim to be the only Universal Life Church that is actually faith-based, and the faith is the Christian, obviously. They got very upset that when I had my radio show, I brought a Jew in. I don't understand what the problem was.
I know. I mean, very narrow-minded people.
Yeah,
Well, in any event, the Rev broke away, became schooled in the esoteric ways of ministry, and what that simply means is there are certain things he can't tell us because he'll have to shoot us.
basically, what it means. They're esoteric, then there's exoteric. Is that the right term?
Exoteric is for the common person. The esoteric is for the gifted, the enlightened ones.
The enlightened few.
And boy, are you enlightened.
Am I? The sparks coming out of my ass. I'm so like.
You see now, you shouldn't use that kind of language.
My donkey
You're
was
tuchus.
walking beside me.
You're tuchus.
No, my donkey, my ass. My donkey's walking beside me, and somebody stuck some firecrackers up his. So he'll move faster. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen,
what do you think I was talking about?
I don't know what I'm going to do with this man here.
What do you think I was talking about?
I really, I'm trying to keep him on the straight and narrow. I think we require some help from one of our listeners to call in and put him in his place. I can't do it because I'm a co-host. I am an intern. Okay. I'm supposed to be the straight guy here.
That's true. You're not gay, so that's okay. So you are straight. I said you're not gay, so you are straight.
I can't believe you said that.
I apologize, but there's nothing wrong with being gay, neither. I know. Out of context, out of respect, I apologize.
Damage is done.
It wasn't meant to be.
Well. Anyway, folks, it's 646-595-3275. Right now is about the time that we usually get at least one of our callers to phone in. Hopefully, if they're listening, let us know what they think of today's topic, the power of prayer.
And also, stop my madness. Call in.
If it's ever worked for them.
Also, we'd love to hear from Elisa. That's
well, you're putting her on the spot now. She might be in transit right now.
I said I would love to hear from Elisa. That's all
I realize
I'm saying.
that, but she might be going back to. She might be in travel now.
No,
and,
she said she would try to call and give us an update on Dapper Dan, who's still in ICU, but he's awake now and he's talking.
Yes, you said he was about as coherent as he was when he calls up the show.
He spoke to me for 5 minutes, and I honestly could not understand almost anything he said.
Well, he's under heavy sedation.
He
should explain
absolutely.
that,
But he did know who I was, so that and he recognizes everybody.
That's better than most people. Most people try to forget who you are.
That's true. He probably says, of all the things I have to remember. But anyway, so he's still in ICU, but they're saying in a couple of days he might be out of ICU. But he's been in ICU now for a couple of weeks already.
That means he's just about fit enough to run for Congress, right?
I mean, you think about it. Here's a guy that supposedly only took a fall, broke a nose, cut his lip, and had a very mild concussion. And he's been in ICU now for 2 weeks. Something doesn't add up. The docs missed something. Not the kind of doc our doc is, but the medical doctors. They're missing something.
Well, I think what they did was they put him in a medically induced. We got a call.
All right. We've got a caller, and that's, I believe, Elisa. Hold on. We'll be right with you. Hi, this is Felix.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay. We were just talking about you and Dapper Dan.
Yeah, today happens to be one of the best days out of all of days. I mean, he has improved so much, and it's just amazing. Truly, truly amazing. When I got to the room this morning, he was up, he was alert. It was like nothing ever happened. I mean, just truly amazing.
Well, that's because
he's one amazing guy. I got to say that.
That's because he's anticipating a trip with Felix to Harold's. Okay.
It's one thing. He's got an appetite. They won't give him any solid food as of yet because they're afraid of aspiration. And he did take. He had a test done today while I was there, and unfortunately, at this time they won't they won't let him eat anything. So he's still on the, I guess, the nutrients through the IV.
Now, as you know, I spoke to him for a little while today, and one of the things he said, he wished he could make the call tonight, which I knew he can't.
You know what? I think if he was in a different room, it would be easier. I mean, he still may. I haven't spoken to him since I told him I came back, which was about 3 hours ago. So, you know, I guess being in the ICU, it's hard. I mean, I actually left him his phone today. So, I don't know, either he could be sleeping because he was, today was like very not stressful in a bad way, but stressful in a good way. They got him out of bed. They got him actually walking. And he was sitting in a chair. So I mean, he just might be tired. I mean, he's just getting off of all the meds, and he, like I said, he's alert, he's coherent, but he's still not. I mean, he's really not 100% yet.
Well,
I'd give him maybe 96%.
Yeah, but when I spoke to him, I had a lot of trouble understanding him still.
It's because he had the oxygen mask on him.
Oh.
So it was hard. It was hard to hear him. And I also asked him if he wanted my headphones, and he said no, I'm okay. So it could be that, but being next to him, I was able to talk to him and have a conversation with him. And today was the first day that I was actually able to understand what he was saying. It was very clear. And then they took the oxygen mask off and they put the oxygen tubes in him, and it made it even a lot better. So, you know, it's a day-by-day now thing, and hopefully within another day or two he'll be able to get out of ICU.
How's his parents doing?
Oh, they're great. They're doing wonderful. We're all doing wonderful. I mean, it's been a long haul. It's been a long journey. It's still going to be a long journey. But knowing that he's out of the induced coma and he's back to us, I mean, everybody is just thrilled and happy. We're more relieved than anything.
Of course. Any questions, Mark?
No. I'm just taking it all in. It would be difficult for him to talk anyway because in ICU, there is no privacy. They really don't want him to talk for great lengths of time.
I wouldn't expect him to.
And
actually, no, they do want him to. They want him to be a little more active because, let's face it, he's been in bed and sleeping for the past, past Sunday, Monday, what is it, like, it's going to be almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I said it was...
I think it's like 14 days?
Yeah.
Something like that, I mean...
I'm almost afraid to ask the next question, and I'm questioning myself as to whether I should even ask, but...
yeah, you can ask.
Do his children know? Has anybody been up to see him?
No.
See, that's terrible.
Not yet.
That's terrible.
No, it's no. It's not what you think. They want to tell them, and they're going to tell them, but they're actually not in town right now. They're away.
Oh,
so when they come back, I'm sure that it'll be said something.
Does his ex-wife know?
Huh?
Which one?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
There are certain people that we want to know. There's certain people that we don't want to know. And, for personal reasons, whatever, they're keeping it quiet.
Huh. Okay.
Bye bye, Mommy. See you tomorrow.
Well, today's
Excuse me,
show.
hold on a second.
That's good to hear that Dan is doing a little better.
You want to go to see him on Sunday?
Yeah, he's doing a lot better. I mean, it's great. It's just awesome.
Well, Elisa, tonight's topic is the power of prayer. Okay. Do you think that there's any benefit? Is it beneficial? Does it work? Or have you ever prayed for someone to? Well, Dan would be a perfect example. You know.
Well, I actually did pray for him. As you know, I'm Jewish.
Well, that's immaterial.
Well, my point is, I'm Jewish, but I'm bringing my daughter up Catholic because I made a promise to my mother-in-law, well, future ex-mother-in-law, before she passed away, that I would do that. So I take my daughter to church, and I actually said a prayer on Sunday for Dan. And I kind of believe, I do believe in prayer at some point. When my father was ill, of course, I prayed that he would get better. Unfortunately, I knew my father wasn't going to get better, so towards the end, I prayed that my father, when he would pass on, that he doesn't suffer, and he actually died in his sleep and had no pain whatsoever. So I'm one that believes in prayer.
Yeah, well, you know, even if you don't believe in prayer that much, how much could it hurt?
I don't think it could hurt at all. I mean, I think
exactly.
And you know, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think everybody should pray, and I'm sure everybody does. Some people just don't want to admit it because of the stereotypes that are out there in this world. I mean, it's society that really falters this world and, tells you what to do, and you listen or you obey to society and not to the Almighty. But again, everybody has a right to their opinion, until it's proven to be a fact. But prayer is, something that you either want to do it. It's not that you have to do it. It's you just want to do it.
And we were talking before that so many people pray when they don't even realize it. Every time you say, "Oh God, please help me," that's a prayer.
Right. Whenever you use His name, it's always. I remember growing up, I said, "God damn it" or something. My mother would always say to me, "You're using the Lord's name in vain." And I'm like, okay, but I'm young. I didn't know what I was saying, and now that I'm older, I can understand what she's saying.
Well, my God is Felix, and I still haven't gotten a raise.
You pray to the wrong God. You didn't pray to the Pastafarian God. Wait, maybe you did. You did eat pasta yesterday.
No, today, that's what I said.
I don't know if you ever heard there's a religion that was formed called Pastafarians. And they believe in they pray to an invisible spaghetti monster. And because of the...
Never heard about that until today.
Well, that's...
Thanks to the First Amendment, it's a religion.
Needless to say, it started in California. Most of these things tend to start in California.
No, actually, this one started in Poland, I think.
Well...
That's worse than California.
Hey, now. I take offense of that.
Why, I'm Polish.
That's what I was going to say.
So am I. I'm half Polish.
Well,
I have so much mixed in me, I don't even know what I am anymore.
Well, I have all Polish. Yeah, maybe it was Ukrainian and Polish. I don't know. But it's Polish. You know, where my parents were born. Depends what side of the bed you woke up to see if you're either Polish or Ukrainian.
I'm a Polish. What am I? I'm Polish, Turkish, and Russian.
Yeah. I'm Polish Jew and a Polish Roman Catholic. What a mixture.
Well, wait a second. Jewish and Catholic are religions, so you can't put that in the equation.
My mother was Jewish. My
Polish
father
is
was
a nationality.
I know. I'm just saying. But my mother was Jewish. My father was a Roman Catholic. So I was a Polak that's half Jewish, half Roman Catholic. By the Jewish religion, I'm Jewish because you follow what your mother. By the Catholic religion, I'm Catholic because I was baptized and my mother converted, which I don't think she was serious about it, but she did it because of my father. So that's how I became an esoteric reverend. Completely confuse everybody.
Including yourself.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's called esoteric interfaith. There are esoterics in every religion.
That's true.
I was going to say that. That is true. I mean, when I married out of faith, but you know, I don't look at it as, you know, I don't go with someone because of their religion. You know, I'm not that religious to begin with. Yeah, when I was younger, I might have, because I mean, all my grandparents were alive. I remember my great grandmother. I was actually just turning 8 years old when my great grandmother passed away. I mean, I remember her to the T. She was such a sweet little old lady, and I remember every Friday night we went to my grandmother's house and we had Shabbos there. My great grandmother would be lighting the candles and saying prayer and all that. And then the next morning, we'd all meet up at my grandmother's house again to bagels and lox. But, you know, as the elders in my family passed on, they took the religion with them. And, I mean, it's sad, but, you know, you believe in what you feel you believe in, not what anybody tells you or tells you how to believe in it.
Well, you know, I don't agree with churches, synagogues, or anybody else getting all these contributions. Give up 10% of your salary, give up 20% of your salary. I mean, I think that's totally wrong.
Or as my wife likes to say, pay to pray.
Yeah. Totally wrong.
You nailed it right on the head. All these organizations, they're all about money. Like, you know, for her, when I have to take her to church, she has to have an envelope, and in that envelope she has to put money in it. And, of course, they send an envelope to my house as well because of the fact that I'm bringing her up Catholic. You know, I had to become a parishioner. I don't give them money. I don't even have the money. Even if I had the money, I wouldn't give it to them because,
you know,
where's the money going?
First of all,
how do I know that the money is going for something?
It is going for something.
I put $1.
I don't think God is asking for money. Okay, the religion wasn't set up that way. You know.
You know, if you want to give some money, feed a hungry child. Don't give it to the church.
Give it to something that's worthwhile. I mean, there are starving people out there in the world. Here in the States, we have homeless people.
That's
people
right.
That don't have anywhere to go. I mean, use the money for that. I mean, not to get off the topic of religion, but our politicians, you know, do something, you know, right. Use use the money or use your power to help the people that really need the help. What about the people that don't have medical insurance, that can't get medical insurance? I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, more and more people are becoming homeless in our country because these politicians are not for the people anymore.
Elisa, it sounds like you're making an argument.
I think I just turned into Dan.
Oh, not a bad thing.
You know, if you have to give money, give it to somebody else. Do you know those all those clothes, bins that you have?
Salvation Army?
Oh, there's
The
hundreds
Salvation
of them.
Army, or I know what you're talking about.
There's a lot more than Salvation.
Outside.
There's a lot more than Salvation Army. It's a very big profit-making business.
Red Cross? Not the Red Cross.
Not the Red Cross. Most of the booths, most of these things are not Red Cross.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All these things were
I think
by
I know.
the church.
I think I know what you're talking about.
The
because
clothing bins.
If what I'm thinking, wait a minute. If I think you're talking,
the clothing bins where you throw
Well,
your
most
used
of them
clothes.
are the
They're
Salvation
letting out
Army.
No, most of them are not.
Okay.
You have to look to see who's sponsored by. I know.
I have a church that will bring a truck over here, and I
Right.
box things up and I give it to them. I think it's St. Mary's. What is it? Peter, Paul, and Mary, and it's based out of Brooklyn, I think, on Atlantic Avenue. And I call up when I have clothes that I want to give away.
Okay.
And I box it up, and they take it.
They have. Let me just. This is from personal experience. They have these booths all over the place in churches. Not booths, but these bins in churches, in shopping centers, everywhere you can look. If you look hard, you see all these places. It says, leave your clothes here for whatever cause it is. This church, that church, feed the hungry children, whatever the organization is called. They have
Right.
private people that pick this up, and they sell all this stuff by weight to these companies, recycling companies who recycle these clothes, and 10% goes to organization, and 90% is kept by the truckers or who's ever doing it, because they're only required to turn in 10%, and they are now
10% really not that much.
90%. So for 10%, they become non-profit.
I don't know. I put Felix in a box and left him on the corner one time, and it said "Return to sender."
And also, I'll tell you something.
That's 2 weeks in a row that you're getting pounced on.
Many years ago, when I was working for an Eastern Airlines, when they went out of business, one of the managers there, a friend of mine, asked me to go to the business with him doing the clothing business. That's how I know so much about it. And I didn't like it, but what these truckers do, they'll break to each other bins and steal the clothes. They'll burn the other people's bins. There's actually wars going on between these people for all this used clothes, this garbage. And he did very well with it. He made a lot of money. But he was very small and skinny, and he could fit into the bins without unlocking them. And he did. He had a partner. He'd throw out all the clothes out of the bins and throw it into his. And from that, he started an amulet business, which is also pretty good, doing well with.
Well, once again, we are straying from our topic, the power of prayer.
Well, he was praying every night that those bins would be full.
I would assume he was.
And they always were. So...
Well, knowing the religious family that Dan comes from, I am sure that his parents are doing a lot of praying, every night for for his recovery. And let's face it, if it makes somebody feel good, if the person praying feels good about it, then it's not a bad thing. It's really not a bad thing.
And I just, like I said, I said a prayer on Sunday, but I've been, I'm not going to lie, I've been praying and saying and hoping that he gets better, and I know it was all up to him to get better, but knowing that I prayed, it helps relieve most of the sadness that was going through me.
Right, and the trepidation that you're feeling, of course.
It doesn't hurt.
Right. I mean, as much as I had to be strong, because someone had asked me how I'm in such control over this whole thing, and I replied back to the person that if he feeds off our vibes, and if he sees or knows fear or sadness, then he's not going to want to get the help that he needs or deserves. So we have to be strong, and we have to be in control. And that's what I was seeing the whole 2 weeks. Being in control, having strength, and saying my prayers, and it all equaled out to what we have today, which is him being back with us. I'm not going to stop praying, and I'm going to pray more for now, and I don't want to sound selfish or anything, but I'm going to pray now that the two of us can now move forward and, continue doing what we were doing before this happened, starting a life.
Well,
so I'm definitely going to be praying for.
I think Dan should look at this as a second chance. He's got a chance to start all over again.
A lot of people don't get the second chance.
I think he does. I think I finally felt and saw it today. He actually, when he was sitting up, I was telling him how I was doing certain things for him. I made sure all his laundry was done, so he has clean clothes, and taking care of matters for him. And he actually leaned over and hugged me. I didn't expect that. I wasn't telling him that to get affection. I was telling him that to let him know that he's got someone there that cares, for him. And it just made me feel so good.
Well,
to feel him hug me again.
Felix wants to know if you get a free minute, stop by the office. He's got some laundry that needs some, doing, and he'd be happy to give you the same hug if you do his laundry.
Sure.
Absolutely. Well, Dan knows that we all care about him, and hopefully he knows it. And we're all wishing the best for him. We've done some prayers for him, and even on the show we've read some prayers for health.
That's
for Dan.
true.
Right. I mean, everybody that I've been speaking to, they've been so great. They've been so cooperative when I ask for certain things, and most of the people that I've been talking to that call his phone would say, can you please update us, and, do you mind if we call you? And I'm like, no, not at all. And a couple of them even said, we'll say a prayer for him, and, I think that's great. It makes me feel good to know that he's got the support team out there, and he now knows it. I think today was the day that I actually told him who I've spoken to and who's been calling, and, when I tell him, people are out there on your side and they're praying for you, and, they want you to get a speedy recovery, I can see it in his face. He actually knows now that he's got a team out there, or he's got friends that really care about him, and he's going to make it. He's going to pull through. We're going to get through this. And I'm not going to stop, like I said, I'm not going to stop praying. I'm always going to pray, and I'm always going to feel confident, and I'm just going to do my best, because that's all I can do, to make sure that he knows and feels that he's got someone there for him.
Well, he's a very lucky guy.
He is. He's extremely fortunate.
Fortunate to have parents who, made it their business to come back east after moving to Ohio. They're first trying to start a life in Ohio, and then this happens.
Right.
Plus,
I said once, well, I've been writing some things down on paper. I do my best when I write, and one thing that I wrote was that this was pretty much an accident waiting to happen, but in a good way. And I believe in stuff like that. Things happen for a reason, and it may take time for a reason to happen. And now it's his time. It's his time to shine once again, but shine for the better. And
he's got to take it.
This was an eye opener.
He's got to take advantage of the opportunity that's being given to him right now.
Oh, and I think he is now. I really think he is now. Every now and then we need a kick in our you-know-what, and he got his kick, and, he's got people now that, not saying that he didn't have people in the past, but he's got certain people now that are willing to be on his side and stand by him, not lead him, and not be behind him, but be alongside of him. And that. I don't feel that anybody should lead somebody. I mean, yeah, you could lead, you can lead a horse to water, but, it's the horse's choice to drink. I don't believe in that. You have to have people alongside of you to go with you. The person that should be leading is the individual themselves. You're the leader. You're your own leader. You make the choices. Other people can give you the suggestion and, tell you what may be right and what may be wrong, but it's you as the individual that has to realize what's right and wrong. And, life is a journey. Yeah. It's your own journey. You have to choose which path you're going to go onto that journey.
One of the things you're going to have to do, and it's probably you're probably going to have the biggest job, is not let him become complacent, but keep moving. He's got to keep moving forward. He can't stop. He can't just say, "Oh, I'm fine," and go back and just go back to what he was like. He's got to keep moving now.
You're right, Felix. You're right, and I don't know if it's my job. It probably is, and I'm willing to take it and help him. We actually had a talk today, and it was a good talk. I mean, I pretty much set the, not the rules, and I don't want to come off and say the rules, but I set it off to him and then told him, this is what doesn't have to be. I basically told him, not in so many words, but I don't want to fight. I want to, smooth sail. And, certain things he agreed on, and he's like, well, can't I do this and do this and do that? I was like, no, absolutely not. This is the time now where you have to, whatever you did in the past stays in the past, and all the good comes forward into the present and future. There's no more, I'm doing it this way because I've done it this way before. No, done, over with. Some things I put my foot down on.
Yeah, he's got to stop that because he's always going back. I remember how it used to be. It doesn't matter anymore. I remember how it used to be.
See, there's an old Dan that everybody knows, and I got the tail end of the old Dan. Today, the shell broke, and the real Dan is now coming out. The Dan that nobody has seen before. It's going to take time for the shell to really be officially broken. It's not completely broken, but it's coming apart. And I think with my help, and I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but yes, I am the girlfriend who cares. He's got parents that care. He's got family members that care, and he's got friends that care. That shell is going to be broken more and more, and the Dan that should have been is finally going to be there. I'm not saying that he's got a good heart. He's a very good-hearted person, but there's more to him that no one knows because they haven't seen it, because he's hidden himself from it, and now it's coming out. He's got the strength and the power to do so, not so much for himself, but because of the people that are willing to help him.
He knows he has the support, and when I listen to you, it's almost like listening to Loretta Lynn singing Stand By Your Man, although she stood by her man, he wasn't very nice to her, let's put it that way. I know the story. But, I think, he's finally, as you said, starting to learn that there are many people in his corner. Okay, his corner is not as empty as he thought it might have been.
Right. Again, he kind of sheltered himself, and pretty much hid, even though he was physically there. I think he just sheltered himself, but now he can break free, because back then he didn't think to know that he had people that cared for him, or he was just blinded because of people that didn't, and people that used him, and he wasn't used to having people there, or a person that doesn't use him, that cares for him, and now he sees it, and it's going to be a rough time. I mean, it's going to be a long journey, a long haul, but I myself, and I can speak for other people that I speak to, they're willing to be there for him, and he has to keep reminding himself and remembering that, and once he does, it'll come natural, and we're definitely going to see a new Dan. I feel it in my bones, and I have faith in him that it's going to happen.
Well,
he said something to me yesterday. Yesterday he was groggy, but I mean, he was alert. He knew what he was saying, and he whispered to me, "Run from me." I was like, "What? Why should I run from you?" He's like, "I'm a nightmare." I said, "Well, you're the best nightmare I ever had, or will have." You know, I'm never going to run from him. I told him, I said, "I'm in it for the long haul. I came into this knowing or not knowing or now knowing, and I'm not a quitter. I'm a fighter. And if I have to fight for you, so be it. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. But if I lose, I know I tried. And that will satisfy me. But what will satisfy me even more is knowing that he himself is fighting and wanting to take the chance and the challenge and whatnot. And it makes me happy to see that he's pulling through."
Well, it's very important that he's got to want it also. And once he wants
And I
it,
think he
there's
does
no
now.
stopping. There'll be no stopping him once he
Yeah,
wants.
No, absolutely.
You know,
But he wants it. I can see it.
You know, he's just got to listen to other people, listen to advice sometimes now, and listen to the right advice, because he's going to be getting a lot of bad advice too.
And if I can go back to the topic of the day, it all goes back to the power of prayer.
And we all pray for Dan's quick recovery and continued recovery.
Elisa, I think we're going to let you go because you've been running ragged, and we appreciate the call, and we appreciate the update.
Yeah, I was actually really... I have to be honest, I was actually sleeping, and I woke up and I looked at the time, and I was like, I need to go on the show. But I wanted to see if he went on, and I didn't think he was going to go on because, again, I knew he was in ICU, and yeah, it's been a rough. Like I said, it's almost 2 weeks, and it has been taking a toll on me. So yeah, I did fall asleep.
Tell Dan that when he feels better, the next time when he calls up, we'll pick on him like we used to. That'll make him feel good.
Yeah, it should.
All right, listen, Elisa, you have a good night.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Thank
all right?
you.
And if he's ready for a visitor, let me know. We still want to visit him.
I definitely will. I definitely will. I mean, like I said, as soon as he gets out of ICU, and it's up to him too. I mean, if once he gives the green light and says, "Okay, I want to see people,"
right,
then of course I'll start letting people know.
Just tell him Felix promises to take a shower before he shows up. All right?
Okay.
And after.
I did tell him about the Leo, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he likes.
We
he
could
likes
even,
the Leo.
Leo is something that you could eat cold also. It doesn't have to be eaten hot.
Ew.
Cold eggs? Not me.
Oh, sure.
No, I don't like cold eggs.
Lox, eggs, and onions with a
cold.
bagel.
It's not cold. It's just hot eggs. It's an omelet.
So you eat a cold omelet. Eat cold pizza, don't you?
No.
Yeah, but that's not an egg. That's pizza. I'll eat.
I don't eat cold pizza either.
Well, actually, I'll eat a cold egg. No. Cold egg. A cold egg is good when it's a hard-boiled egg.
Exactly. Egg salad. Egg salad is okay.
You don't know what you're missing.
We do know what we're missing. Absolutely, Mark.
All righty. Have a good weekend. Try to find some time. Try to find some time for yourself.
All right.
I'm actually going. I'm taking my daughter out tomorrow. So yeah.
Well, great.
All right.
Enjoy the day.
And
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be talking to Dan and you on Monday.
Well, I wouldn't push it. When he's ready.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Say a prayer.
We will say
all
a
the
prayer.
time. Remember, that's what the
Say a
show is
prayer and
about.
maybe
The power
I know,
of
that's
prayer.
why I said it. Say a prayer. That's right.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you again.
All right.
My pleasure, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. Good
enjoy.
night.
Good night now.
Good night.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Elisa.
That
Aside
was
from
sort of-
becoming a regular caller, giving us an update on Dan's progress, and we're really glad to hear that there are some positive changes going on and that he might be leaving the ICU. All this, of course, other than good medical care, the power of prayer.
Exactly. And now we're going to, after that long call, we're going to take a short break with another Jewish song. We're going to, it's your night.
My night. It's Friday night at Shabbos.
I remember his words on the Seder night as he spoke of redemption till first light. To Mitzrayim and Auschwitz as they carried us that night. To past times of our Jews in the ghetto day when they defeated with him to run away. And my task begged with my people I want to remain. Whatever you do, don't ever forget what I told you. Whatever you be, hold on to Hashem, hold on to your faith. In tears they did cry, remember, they stayed to fight for his people's faith, and they fought and they saved till they lost that day. When with torture and pain they came to test their faith. He recalled of those nights in the cattle trains, how they tore through the bars of the window frame. When he jumped through the side, these words came to his mind. Whatever you do, don't ever forget what I told you. Whatever you be, hold on to Hashem, hold on to your faith. With tears did he cry, remember. My children, this Seder is a reality. The wonders and miracles were performed for me. In the valley of death, Hashem was with me. Whatever you do, don't ever forget what I told you. Whatever you be, hold on to Hashem, hold on to your faith. Tears have to cry, remember.
song is over. I believe our song was over, and we didn't even realize it, ladies and gentlemen. So he probably had another moment of silence there.
That's true. That was our moment of
another silent prayer.
Devotional. Yes, silent devotional.
Okay, I want to do a quick piece by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I give thanks for each new morning with its light, for the rest and shelter of the night, for health and food, for love and friends, for everything thy goodness sends. How's that? And
that's for our good friend Dan.
And may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. That's an ancient Tibetan Buddhist blessing. And with that blessing,
we are going to say,
bless everybody.
Yes. Have a blessed weekend.
Yes. Have a good Shabbat.
Remember the power of prayer. It does work if you open your heart and open your mind. And to all those atheists out there, we say,
pray anyway.
Amen.
It can't hurt. Can't hate. Can't hurt.
Anyway, speaking for myself, the doc, have a good weekend.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for listening.